For the past couple months, I've had this idea in my head that I wanted to do sort of a travel game, and I wanted to be able to get people involved in playing it. So we're going to talk about that coming right up. What's going on, everybody? My name is Andrew. This is Touring Midwest. I love to do motorcycle camping and motorcycle related content, so we do a lot of that around here. That sounds cool. Hit that subscribe button and we'll get on with this video. I've had this idea in my head, like I said, that I wanted to start a travel game. I wanted to come up with something fun. Originally, it was just to get my patrons involved. I wanted a game that the patrons could play along with. But then after thinking about it a little bit, I want everybody to be involved in it. So whoever wants to play, we're gonna have this set up kind of two ways. I don't want to overcomplicate things, but there are a couple dynamics involved. For my patrons, I'm gonna have a few extra perks and things involved for anybody in the Patreon group that wants to play along. But I also want to have it available for just you. If you want to play, that is very, very cool. So let's get into this game a little bit. Let me try to explain this to you and how it's going to work. The idea is pretty simple. I want a travel game or a touring game that's going to get people out exploring and checking things out, and a way that they can interact and share what they've done or seen along their journey. And what I've done is I've taken one of my favorite board games or table games or family night games, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to say the name. I don't know if I can get in trouble for that or not, but I've changed it quite a bit to suit my needs. So after I start describing the game, you may be able to come up with exactly what game I'm talking about. It rhymes with categories. There you go. So hey, I'm going to call this the Touring Tribe Challenge. I call my patrons the Touring Tribe, so Touring Tribe Challenge just really, really works good. At the end of each month, I'm going to share with everybody a list. The list will have 10 categories, and we're going to have a random letter that each of those categories has to begin with. So every month it'll be a different letter for sure, and I've got kind of a list made that I came up with the help of my buddies from the Braptown crew. I was talking to them, trying to get some ideas and some help and things like that. Now moving forward, if my patrons have any ideas for categories and they're good, then we're going to probably swap some of those out and move them around from month to month. So if that happens, that list of 10 categories may change month to month. But the letter for sure changes every month. So let's explain to you how this is going to work, and I've got a couple examples. I was out today and managed to find a couple things, so I didn't do the whole list, but I just did a few examples to share with you guys just to give you an idea how this is going to work. All right, now the cool thing is this is a game that you can easily play on your own. You can play it by yourself, you can play it with friends or family or whatever, just to get people out, but this is kind of a more global thing. So if you want some competition and things like that, play along. Or if you really want to get more serious about it, consider joining the Patreon. It's not really a plug for my Patreon, but hey, every little bit helps, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you, and I love my patrons. I'll get into the perks and stuff towards the end of this video, but let's talk about the game. All right? Okay, so I've already said that at the end of every month, because I want you guys to have as much of a month as possible to get all these completed. So towards the end of the month, I'm going to make a community post or release a video or maybe do a live stream. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do all that for sure yet, but it's for sure going to be posted in the Patreon group, which it'll be a public post. So if you want to play along, you can just check it out. www.patreon.com/touringmidwest. I'll put that down here somewhere so you can see it. So I'll share the list for the month just in case it changes ever, so you can stay on track with what the categories are. And I'll share the randomly selected letter that each of those categories have to start with. Now the idea of the game is, and I'll show a sample list right up here somewhere so you can kind of see. I've got this little black background here, so that works out pretty pretty good, I think. So you could see an example of the 10 categories, and in this video example, my randomly selected letter was the letter D, as in Dave. Now you can see some of the categories include food, drink, a girl's name, a boy's name, a restaurant or bar, a street sign, a body of water. I'm going to go through this list and kind of give you some examples, and then when I hit the 3 that I actually have pictures of, I'll kind of show you what it is. All right, so food. For this letter, for some reason I'm kind of blanking out and I'm not sure what food would start with the D. But again, remember, the idea of this game is to get you out and about, exploring and things like that. So when I say food, I don't mean something out of your refrigerator. I mean like going to check out a new locally owned establishment. This is kind of a fun game, but it's also kind of to give some credit to these locally owned establishments that you visit or places that you go, and give people ideas of places that they can visit and things that they can do. All right, so food's a little complicated. Drink, I use this example, me holding a Diet Coke, which is an easy one for me because Diet Coke is my drink of choice. I drink it like water. That's all there is to it. So Diet Coke. But what I would prefer to see is something like if you go to a brewery, maybe they've got their own special beer that starts with the letter for the month. Like in this case, it would be D. A great example of that would be one of my all-time favorite beers, the double dry hopped Pseudo Sue. Double dry hopped Pseudo Sue. See how that starts with a D? If it was just P, you could just go with their standard beer, which is Pseudo Sue, and that starts with a P. So there you go. That's a great example of how that would work, and super cool. And just a side note for this one, it's made by Toppling Goliath, which is in Decorah, Iowa, which would work under the city sign or town name or village, whatever. We're going to be kind of flexible on this stuff because I know people from different areas call things different things. Like they might not have a city or a town, but they might have a village. So that all kind of falls under the same category. You know what I mean? Just take your picture by the sign. All right? Makes sense? All right, so a street sign is pretty easy. That one's going to be pretty easy to track down for almost any letter. I think we are going to avoid letters like X and Z and maybe Q. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. I just don't want to make it impossible. I want it to be challenging and fun, but I don't want to make it super hard. I want people to actually be able to complete their list at the end of the month. All right. We talked about the city sign. The next one's a body of water, which could be an ocean, lake, river. You know, you get the gist. Pond, if it's got a name. I guess it's a body of water. I'm going to roll with it. The next one on the list right now is a tourist or roadside attraction. I've got an example of this right here. I took my picture in front of a dinosaur. There you go. See where I'm going with this? The next one would be a boy's name, which should be pretty easy to find. If there's a business, like for instance, we have a car dealership. I was gonna stop there today on my way home from work, and I completely spaced it out. But we have a car dealership named Dave Severson Ford here in Albert Lee. Shout out to Dave Severson, I guess. Not sponsored, but hey, I'll put my email info down in the description if you want to contact me or whatever. So there you go. Dave, letter D, that would be a boy's name. Same thing with the next one, which is a girl's name. We have a Dinah's Cafe here in town, so that would work relatively well for that. Next one is a restaurant or a bar. I managed to get a picture of that one as well. Duffy's right here in Windham, Minnesota. So I got my picture in front of their sign, which is pretty amazing. I haven't had an opportunity to try Duffy's yet, but I know where it's at, and someday I'll get an opportunity to stop in and check it out, so that's pretty cool. And the last one on the list, on this particular list, is states or national parks or campgrounds. Basically, my idea here is places that you can camp, right? So that one might be a little bit of a challenge, and it might be one that we get rid of eventually, but we're going to try it for a month or two and see how it goes. Again, this list may change as the game progresses month to month, or we may swap out categories or just randomly, add or remove things. But I'm going to try to keep it at 10 10 categories for the list for the month. Okay, so that kind of gives you an idea how the game goes. Now, how can you play along? Well, if you are not a patron, here's what you do. You, as you complete the list, take a picture, share it on your Instagram. All right, this is a good way to share with your friends and family or your followers that you're out and about, you're exploring, and you're playing a game, right? So you can take a picture of yourself in front of whatever, or holding your drink, or holding your burger or sandwich that starts with whatever the letter is for the month. All right, post that to your Instagram account and use the hashtag. Now, this is very important. Follow this very clearly because this is how I'm going to find you. All right. Now, you can tag Touring Midwest in the post at Touring Midwest. I'll throw that somewhere on the screen here so you don't forget about that. And I'll have links and all my information down in the description as well in case you're new and you want to follow. I really appreciate that, by the way. Hashtag, I'm going to put it right here so you can see an example of how the hashtag has to go. It's going to be TMTT, that's Touring Midwest Touring Tribe, TMTT Challenge, the month code, which May would be 05, and then the year 20, and then the letter for that month. So say it's May. Hashtag TMTT Challenge 0520 and the letter D. Okay? That's going to be how the hashtags are going to work every month. And I'll have that in the description every month when I let you guys know what the letter is for the new month. I'm going to be selecting your pictures randomly, and the best of the best, or the ones that I think really stand out, I'm going to be sharing to my Instagram stories. I did mention for patrons, they're going to get some extra perks, right? And I haven't worked all this out yet for my patrons, but don't worry, you guys are close personal friends of mine, and I'm going to be talking to you a lot about this kind of stuff. So as things change or are adjusted, I will let you know. But some ideas are, I wanted you to be able to post your image to Patreon directly so I knew for sure that I didn't miss you guys. Now, it is possible to upload images under the community tab on Patreon, but you can't do it from your mobile phone, sadly. And I want this to be easy, and everybody, not everybody, but most people have a smartphone, and that would be the easiest way to do it, would be through the app. But so I think I'm going to have you guys do the same thing. Post to Instagram, same hashtag, and I'm just going to have to keep track of y'all somehow. I don't know how all that's going to work, but like I said, if we have to make any changes down the road, we will. Maybe I'll have you email me the pictures, or maybe we'll start a Patreon-only Instagram chat group or something like that so y'all can post your pictures in there. But I'm just trying to keep things as simple as possible. We'll develop that as we go. And then for you guys, what I'm going to do is, if you're sending pictures throughout the month or whatever, maybe if there's one that really stands out that I really like, I might actually share that to my actual Instagram feed for the whole world to see, or maybe I'll post it on Facebook, things like that, a little shout out in stories maybe. But the big thing is, I think I'm going to do a video every month. It's probably going to have to be a month behind somehow. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that, but I want to be able to share your guys' pictures and your experiences and your times out on the road. So basically, the important thing is it's an opportunity for you all to be featured in my content, which I think is really cool. A good way to show appreciation to the patrons. So maybe we'll add to it and make it like more of a challenge, or maybe add like some better perks down the road or whatever. But this is like trial. This is like beta. This is Touring Tribe Challenge beta, okay? For the patrons. I really appreciate you guys, and I just thought this would be a fun way to interact and kind of share our experiences and things as we're out and about. We're going to keep it pretty fun. The only rule, really, the only rule is Like, don't use the same picture for multiple categories. Like, Duffy's, in my example, could have been a boy's name and a restaurant or bar, and probably could have been something else. I don't know. But just use one picture for each category. I think that'll be good. But it's a cool way for you guys to share your experiences and your stories. It's an awesome way for me to be involved in your experiences and the things that you're checking out. And I think it's really cool for the viewers or anybody who sees the content so that they know, hey, when I'm in this area, I should check this out. I would encourage you guys in your Instagram post, when you do post, don't just use the hashtag, but leave a little caption about where the place is located or where you were at or what you were doing at the time of that picture, you know? And share your experiences. Did you like it? Was it just okay? Be honest. Be open. Let the world know. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. This is the kind of thing that's right up my alley. So, whatever. Travel games are fun. Travel games are fun. And you can get other people in your family and stuff involved in it. So I feel like it's a bonding opportunity for all of us. It's just in beta testing right now. We're just trying it out. We'll adapt and change and swap out and do whatever we need to do to make this game awesome. So for my patrons, if you have any other ideas for the game, be sure to share them with me. You can message me through the community tab in the Patreon app. That would be awesome to get people more involved in there. Or let me know down in the comments below what you think. Stay safe out there as always. Have a good one. And I will catch you next time right here on Touring Midwest.